Good morning, my dear friends. We're in another garden for the Wow Garden 2025 project. A garden that could be called the Garden of Magical Chaos. And why did we name it that way? Watch the rest of the video because it's really worth it. I'm just walking around looking and admiring the magic of this garden. But this magic will be even more believable when we meet Julka, the owner of this garden, who will tell us why it's so magical and why it's the kind of garden where you can really relax as well. Let's say hello to Julka. Hi, Julka. Hi. I'm incredibly excited because the name Crazy Garden really fits this garden.
Kind of.
Tell me, just to start, could you tell me a little bit about this garden? Where did the idea for creating a garden originate? Not just in this style, but in general.
It was a complete coincidence. We didn't plan at all to create a garden with so many plants. We just wanted some bushes and a lawn, the usual.
Why isn't it like that? Did someone help?
A company set up our lawn. And when I saw that space to be developed, gradually, more and more of the lawn was being cut out, more and more.
And now there isn't much of that lawn left, and I have a feeling that another piece will be taken away somewhere. Yes. Well, that's fantastic. Listen, we'll show you some shots from this garden because there are really a lot of interesting elements, but I still have a question for you. Does the garden make you feel tired or not? No.
Quite the opposite. It's relaxing.
Because normally you do something else, right? Yes?
Yes. I'm a lawyer by profession. I work in the field, and the garden is simply an escape from work, from problems, from everything that's going on around.
But I have to admit...
It's a way to calm down. I have to...
admit that your garden, because it's like that, where you can see only these different attempts, sowing, planting. In a moment, you'll see what wonderful places are here. That's why we called it the Crazy Garden, because it really is crazy. So these attempts to grow your own plants make you relax in all of this, right? Yes?
Yes, very much.
And I have another question. Can we find groups of plants at your place that are repeated somewhere?
First of all, yes, coneflowers. I have a lot of coneflowers because coneflowers are my favorite beloved perennial. But when it comes to the rest of the plants, there's rather a lot of variety.
Variety, meaning there aren't any large patches. It's more like this kind of
fairy tale
chaos, right? No.
I don't really like repetitions. If I have repetitions, it's because, I don't know, I had to divide some perennial or I got something in too large a quantity. But generally, I try not to have repetitions because I like that kind of chaos the most.
Let's go see this real chaos. Listen, we sat down here in front of the entrance to the part of the garden that, for me, is the absolute heart of this garden. How would you name this place?
This is basically a cut flower garden. Here.
Does it say cut flower garden here?
Originally, it was supposed to be a greenhouse. We planned to glaze this gazebo, but when I started setting it up, I liked it so much just sitting and working in it that I decided not to glaze it because I wouldn't be able to stand the heat.
Yes, the roof.
Yes, but the roof was made at the factory.
Well, to be honest with you, these are the crazy elements that you have in your garden. Because personally, I've never seen a greenhouse that isn't glazed, and it's not glazed on purpose. Not because, I don't know, the glass fell out, but because it's intentionally not glazed. But besides having that kind of greenhouse, basically a gazebo, do you have any other place where you can start seedlings? Do you have a small greenhouse like that?
Well, I still often do the seedlings on that at that table, which is also very helpful. And I keep the seedlings in a small greenhouse that I bought this year because I was kind of missing one.
There was a bit of a lack of sun and warmth for the plants because, as befits a cut flower garden, you have a lot of annual flowers here.
Yes, quite a lot.
What annual flowers do you have here?
First of all, this year I went crazy with stalks. But I didn't bring them. Stalks haven't worked for me. This is my second year failing with them.
Maybe someone has advice on how to make stalks grow. I'll be honest. I'm not a specialist with stalks either.
I have snapdragons and carnations, of course.
I think I saw zinnias. Zinnias?
But the zinnias are still in production because I was a bit late with the seedlings, and I'll be sowing some more once the first ones bloom.
That they're blooming.
I'll replace them with zinnias. I have cosmos seedlings too. Well, generally, I have a lot of things that I've started from seedlings, and also since I sowed too many, I had to walk around the flower beds and look for places for the seedlings.
I just love it. Everyone has too little space in the garden, right? Yes, yes. Okay, so now that we've had a chat, it's time for us to go in and see what's going on there. Then we went to your smaller greenhouse. Yes. These greenhouses are great and complement each other. There's a retro vibe here, and I also see a retro vibe throughout this whole garden because you don't have those perfectly cleaned flower beds, right? No, that's intentional. There's no time, but isn't having a crazy garden kind of the idea? Yes.
Yes, because generally every year I focus on a particular flower bed that I like because it looks good at the moment and I pay special attention to it. I weed it more and so on. If a flower bed isn't doing well, I just avoid that spot.
That's good. I need to remember that. If something isn't going well in one of the flower beds, you just have to give it a wide berth. But I also wanted to point something out because we have a question for the viewers. Once you've watched the whole episode, write to us and tell us how old you think this garden is, because that's a bit of a puzzle. We'd like you to write the number in the comments. We'll see if anyone gets it right. Yes.
I'm really curious if anyone will get it right. Of course, friends can't answer.
Friends can't answer, and we also won't say how many years ago this garden was established. Tell me this. Normally, when you have a lot of seedlings, someone has to water them. Do you water all of them yourself? Yes, do you take care of it?
I water them myself, except when I was away, like at Chelsea, then Mords watered them.
And did Moors manage? Yes.
None of the seedlings died, not a single one.
Great. And tell me, do you try to plant and sow the same plants every year, or do you try something different each year?
Basically, last year was my first year sowing annuals, and the plants that worked well for me, that turned out well, I repeated this year. I also tried those Mathiolas again, despite their failure, because I don't give up. I will keep sowing them as long as they want to bloom for me.
We'll look at some pots soon, since your garden has several, I think. 100 likely isn't enough, right? No.
I don't know, I don't count.
Probably more pots, each with different plants, either tulips or, for example, dahlias. Yes, I know you said you have too many dahlias. Yes.
I bought too many dahlias this year, and because of that, I had to reorganize part of the garden a bit to fit in new raised beds for the dahlias.
But you also have a cool way to make supports for dahlias. Yes. For annual plants, right? Yes, yes.
I have to protect them from cats so they don't dig them up.
And that's another topic I'll talk about in a moment. In front of your greenhouse gazebo, there are raised beds, and they're actually different because you have some made of brick and some made of wood. What usually grows in these beds? Because not vegetables, no.
No, I barely have vegetables in my garden. In early spring, tulips bloom on these beds here in front of the greenhouse to create a certain atmosphere, and when I walk from that side, I want the flowers to greet me in the morning. Now, the dahlias have replaced the tulips.
Which will bloom in late summer, which in summer
We're blooming.
but for now something remains. Yes, these
Little branches, and of course all those seedlings I started, which are too many, too crowded, but I think that
it's never too crowded. Plants will always manage somehow. But that's why we're talking here, because I wanted to show your ways to keep those cut flowers from falling over. Here it is in the first box. We have a mesh for reinforcing concrete. Yes, yes,
yes, that's exactly the mesh.
yes, with the mesh. And did it work?
Yes, I mean, it worked because that's really the most foolproof way for cats. But it has the limitation that unfortunately the plants can't bend or flex, and you have to plant them pretty evenly. So that's a downside.
It's mainly for cats to keep them out and prevent digging.
And also pheasants?
Pheasants come here, yes, early.
In the spring, to the feeder here, which I have hanging on the tree. Pheasants come here to feed.
Oh, well, look at that. That's great. And tell me, on the other side, you have a woven string stretched out again. Yes, is this string meant to keep cats away too? Yes.
It keeps the cats away. When there's a big web, the cats stay out and don't dig things up.
Okay. Does it later support the annual plants so they don't fall over or not?
Well, later on I'll support them higher.
Support them higher. Okay, all right. Yes, and you mount all this on those retro stakes. Yes.
Which are screwed to these.
Pots. There are many retro stakes and an overall retro vibe. Yes.
Because I like it. That's just how it is for me. No.
Tell me what inspired you to use such retro elements. Did any gardens inspire you? Or did it just come from you naturally on...
I've seen many English gardens and movies about them, but honestly, Instagram is also a major inspiration. That's how I found out about those stakes. It was actually through Instagram. So I saw them and thought they would be perfect here. Since the greenhouse was already there, they fit perfectly.
Great. Speaking of Instagram, of course, if you want to see more shots, you have an Instagram. Yes, it's called...
Dzieciego spelled without Polish letters.
I'll put a link in the description of this video so you can go in, check it out and admire it.
You're very welcome.
We're in the kingdom of the crazy gardener. Listen, what's going on here? What's all this? Tell me.
These are tulip bulbs that once grew in front of the greenhouse.
A few digs up tulips, dries them and replants them. Come on, hands up. Hands up. Who actually does that? I can't imagine it myself. They're drying beautifully. It's just like in Holland, right? We dig them up and replant them. When do you plant them? These?
The ones that survive, of course, after...
Drying, yes.
Unfortunately, some still get moldy, even though I store them at home in a perfect dark place as recommended. Still, some of them don't always make it, but then I buy new ones and I put the old ones in those...
less
decorative pots.
But on the other hand, if you don't dig them up, they often don't bloom again at all. Yes. There's always a certain percentage of those tulips that bloom. Behind us there are still seedlings, but if we're talking about retro and those kinds of additions, then it's just wonderful. These little details create a fantastic atmosphere. There are flower pots on the chair. Do you sit here? Yeah?
Not now.
And when? I have the feeling that...
Before I transplanted them, I used to like sitting here, but then I transplanted them. There was nowhere to put them, so they had to end up somewhere.
I see there are some vegetables, because here we have some... What is this? Garlic? No?
This is onion, planted here with strawberries to keep pests away.
Some insects.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, there is...
These are the only vegetables in the garden here.
Tomatoes, a few tomatoes and some beans. Yes?
The cucumbers froze, so I need to replant them.
Well, if you don't have glass in the greenhouse, they'll freeze. So, yeah, that's right. Listen, let's go see more of this crazy garden. Do you even use anything like that in your garden? An organized part of the lawn, for example, like trimming the lawn that grows into the flower beds.
Yes. For most of the flower beds, I do trim the grass, I edge it. There are some flower beds where I don't do that, but those are old ones, and I also plan to switch to that method there.
More like woodland ones, yes. And do you use any tools to cut the grass that grows near things like utility boxes or the terrace? Yes.
I use specialized equipment called a shovel.
A shovel? But it's always much harder. Today
It's an exhausting task.
Julka, in this part in front of the house, this flower bed is quite long. It seems to me that it's less wild, but maybe that's just my impression. Tell me, because now the dominant color is kind of lilac purple, right? Yes, yes. And the wildness will appear later. What will show up here later?
Well, later it gets very colorful because there's orange and darker pink, lighter pink, all sorts of colors. Well, a bit of purple too because the color is purple. Echinacha? Yes, echinacha.
Echinacha. Come on, let's take a look, because I see you have those plants in such very bright colors. Yes, this is agastache, right? Yes.
Agastache.
This is agastache. How does it bloom? What color is it?
It's purple.
It's purple. It's a surprise.
Right?
It's purple. So this lime color with the purple looks great? Yes. And a little further here, I see here, something that, well, I'm seeing for the first time in gardens. Yes? From all editions of the Wow Garden project.
This is
Garlic. Yes, yellow garlic is amazing. It resembles bulbous garlic and blooms earlier. A different shape, but this yellow color is really unusual. It looks great. At the start, you also have thistle, right? Yes, thistle. Such a rich color, beautiful, deep. And I wanted to ask you something else. Tell me, did you plan for this flower bed to look like this?
here, kind of, yes. There was a bit of a plan here because it was completely reorganized last fall because my dream was to have foxgloves. I did plant a few more, but I'm still happy with the ones that bloomed.
They go nicely with those obelisks, don't they? Yes, they do.
The obelisks also aren't placed symmetrically on purpose. They're set at an angle. Of course, there are roses in the middle.
Maybe over time.
For now, I'm not planning on clematis. I'm also waiting for summer for the coneflowers and blazing stars.
With blazing stars and coneflowers here, it'll definitely be full of color. Okay, the very back of this flower bed has shrubs, right? There are also lime-colored shrubs and those burgundy red ones. They give a great contrast to all these plants, right?
Yes. Yes, those are barberries and the first to appear in our garden. Back then, we thought we'd only have those shrubs.
Only those shrubs, right? So something did remain after all. Yes. Well, it's good that something from those first plants always managed to survive. And now we're in another part of the garden on the other side of the house. And here I feel like there's not as much chaos. What happened here?
Well, there isn't supposed to be chaos here because I dreamed of having different varieties of peonies, and I didn't have anywhere else to plant them in the flower beds, so that's why there's no chaos here. There were also daffodils here earlier, and they too kind of swept through here like a wave.
And I see there are roses too. Okay, so there is something organized here after all. Yes, in some simultaneous way, but I also noticed that, of course, you have a lot of those metal elements, but you also have a lot of wooden elements, and for sure you still have a lot of seedlings that you have nowhere to put.
Yes, I always have too many seedlings.
Well, that's exactly why I brought you another one, a surprise, another gift from the company Yagram. This time, a large stand for many different kinds of seedlings. I'll get it now. We'll look at it soon. Thanks. I brought it. It's heavy. I even assembled it. It wasn't easy, but I think a lot of different seedlings will fit in here because it's really, really, really big. And at the same time, it's actually quite heavy, so it won't tip over. Will it be useful?
Of course it will be useful. Any wooden item for seedlings or decorative pots will be handy.
By the way, we're standing by the gardener's house, right? Yes, the gardener's house. And the color is really chapeau bas because you don't often see colors like this, but it's clear you like purple. So
I love it.
These devices from Yagram can also be painted. Of course, they are already impregnated, but they take paint beautifully.
I already have a few things from Yagram. I'll leave them as they are.
They age nicely right away. Yes, yes, they age really well. Yes. Julka, listen, what does your day look like when you have a day for the garden? What does it look like?
Well, I put on sweatpants, old worn out shoes, and then I head out to the garden. Usually I don't plan and just do whatever comes up. Quite often I do many things at once. I start one, don't finish it, start another, and that's just how it goes.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes. You repot here in this spot, right? Yes, this is the place prepared for repotting. Yes, and I saw that in many places you have various labels which are written, beautifully written, by the way. Do you write them? Thanks.
Yes, I do. You write them.
Thanks. We'll display it soon since it's so well written. And these names are on many pots. Why is that?
Because I like to have certain plants labeled, especially, for example, roses or peonies, because I don't remember them as I plant them. I just like to know what's in the garden.
I saw that there are a lot of different tags, and I found some here under this table. This
Or thingamajigs.
thingamajigs. This,
Thingamajigs, handmade by Magda Rancher from Noah. They work great.
and do you just write on it normally here too? And does it wash off somehow later?
Haven't tried yet, but apparently you can use nail polish remover. Oh, and
Yes. Yes, you definitely can. And that's also great in itself, yes, as a decoration. Great, so maybe we'll write something here in a moment.
okay, let me just look for.
A marker to write with, okay? We'll write and you'll show how cool it is to write over there. We'll show some other names too. We're heading into this wild garden to keep exploring. All right. Julka, listen, do you ever actually relax in the garden? Does it ever happen that you relax? Well,
I relax while working.
right? Because we already mentioned at the very beginning that work gives you a kind of relief here. So I have one more question. That deck chair that's standing back there, when was the last time you used it? Well,
When I bought it,
that's just typical for garden freaks, really. Yeah, we buy something to use it and then we don't even look at it because there are so many things to do in the garden that there's just no time for it, right? Yeah.
yeah, I even saved spots for benches. But one year my husband said, Julka, stop it. You'll never sit on that bench. It's better to just lay something down there.
And that's smart because there's never enough space for plants. But I'm just asking because I brought you another gift, a really cool lamp that you can use outside on the terrace. And I was hoping you'd find a spot for it so you could sit down in the evening and turn it on. So maybe you'll find a place for it somewhere. It'll come in handy.
It'll come in handy when I have those nighttime tasks like covering the dahlias before a frost or something else. Then it's perfect. Yes.
I've never used it that way. I'll get that lamp. Now, Dvorsky Lighting is giving you this little lamp as a gift. As I heard, it can be used to light up the branches when it's freezing. Now, I haven't heard of that use, but look, see, click, and it lights up with just a touch of your finger. And it also checks.
As for the weight, it's fine. It's suitable for carrying in your hand.
Yes, you'll feel that you're carrying it. So around the garden, in that atmospheric garden with such a little lamp, I'll take a picture for Instagram and you'll post it in the evening to see how it looks.
On
For sure, please. I really ask you. Thank you.
warmly. And
I'm extremely grateful that we could come here and see these fantastic retro wonders in your garden.
thank you so much. Thanks.
So we'll see each other in August and we'll be making a bouquet for $0.
Great. I can't wait.